Have you ever wondered what would happen if you took the childlike urge to explore and learn, the desire to seek out and learn the secrets of the world, and your place in it, possibly? If you took this desire to explore, and with it, mixed in the dark realities of exploration and human nature, well, the result of that would be Made in Abyss. One of the darker animes I've seen in my time, certainly. It's quite something. And I know, I'm a bit late to this party. It's quite old. 2019, I think? Which ain't that old, but still. And the reason it took so long is because I hate child-driven anime. So my biggest compliment to this show is I like it. The exploration, the world building, the lore, it's all really well done. Eventually everything just kind of comes full circle. Everything matters. Well, most things matter. We'll say most things matter. So much so, I want to make a video on the concept of the Abyss. But that's for another time. So, welcome to Made in Abyss. Strap in for a world of wonder and violence, gore, a story of death, a cute little anime story that turns into death. Enjoy. Okay, so this anime is quite the interesting one. It tricks you into this false sense of security with this giddy, wholesome, childlike nature of the first few episodes. Look at this. It's just a little anime about adventuring. Now, you may be asking, how could this cute little anime about adventuring turn into darkness and death? Well, have you seen that? What do you call it? I'm still sick, apologies. Have you seen the ad about the like the little fucking the driving ad where the car swerves and like rams the fucking school of children? Imagine that, but like 10 times worse. Everything goes wrong. Literally. For example, you ever seen a child get melted into a pile of like chewed up gum and flesh? Well, meet Mitty. You ever seen a child bleed from their eyes and any orifice on their body? Meet Mr. Spine Orb. And also, I will say, it gets a bit weird at times. There's a little too much of the main character pissing herself. Yeah, I get that she's a scared child, but it is also fiction. I don't really want to be seeing that shit, dog. Like, cut that shit out. There's also a few other sus things, but for now, I'll focus on the positives, because, you know, I like this show, but it has some interesting design choices. Anyways, to start off, let's go over our main cast. We have Riko, the daughter of one of the White Whistles. In this world, White Whistles are basically just like adventurer ranks. White Whistles being like the top of the top. Liza the Annihilator is one of them, which is Riko's mother, my beloved Liza. She was lost in the Abyss, and that's what the main plot focuses around. Going into the depths of the netherworld to try and find her. But what do they find? Well, not Liza for a little bit, I'll tell you that. They find death, destruction, human morality going out the window. Just really a whole fucking party of things. Anyways, let's start our adventure. Let's move on to characters. Now, let's get on to our characters of Made in Abyss. As mentioned, Riko, the daughter of Liza, is like the brains of the show. Sort of. She's the brash and like just jump head first in type. Yet, she's still smart, don't worry. She has some moments, but for the most part, she's just brash. She just wants to adventure, explore. Her childlike nature taking over to find her mother. You will soon become familiar with a certain phrase when watching this show, and that is, what is born in the abyss yearns to return to it, which I really want to make a separate video on, because it's a really cool concept, but for now, we'll move on to our second main character, Reg. Reg or Reg, whatever you prefer, dog. Reg is also born from the abyss. Think back to that quirky little phrase I've said like 2 seconds ago. He joins Riko on the journey to the netherworld to help find Liza. He is the more muscle protector of the group, like the guardian. Reg is made of these things called relics, each having their own class. It's kind of like a talisman from Dark Souls, but nothing at all like a talisman from Dark Souls. Reg is the top of that class, the supreme treasure of the underworld, or another name I can't pronounce, the Oe beads. I don't know, dog. I can't pronounce that for shit. Yeah, that's not how you pronounce it. Anyways, or another name is relics that can change the way the abyss works or change its rules. Now, the next and final member for the latter part of season 1, Nanachi, the cute little bunny girl with an interesting past. Fun fact: she's related to one of the most popular gifts when people talk about how dark this anime is, which I'll show you in a little bit. Nanachi is the support of the group. She can see the force field that causes the effects of the abyss to take place. She has super hearing. Yeah, she's definitely a support and scout type. No, I can't really go into the fourth because I've only seen the anime, and it's left pretty spontaneous if she actually joins or not. So Fukuda, I can't really speak on her too much, so we're just gonna stick with those three for the main cast for now, I think. Now, slight little detour. I just want to give a small shout out to my best girl, Ozen the Immovable Sovereign. She is so fucking cool, dog. Halamala. Her general design just looks awesome, and due to your time in the abyss as well, due to the time dilations, she's like quite old, but she looks pretty damn young still. And she is like 7 foot tall. You would actually think Shadow of the Colossus on that shit if she tried. She was also Liza's mentor, and eventually her best friend and teammate. Ozen is simply my favorite character. I haven't seen enough of Liza, but she seems pretty cool. So, hopefully we get a season 3, right guys? Surely they won't just end it there and make a game back in like 2022, but not a season 3. Right guys? Please, I need to see more Eisen. No, Ozen, not Eisen, this isn't Bleach. I need to see more Ozen, please. But fine, one last character we can't really not talk about when discussing this show is, of course, Bondred. A lot of people's goats, for some reason. The scientists who will literally do anything to uncover the abyss. This may or may not including Mitty India, a fucking glob of flesh, pity dough looking at, while her best friend watches. This man also adopts a daughter, simply just to make himself love her in order to turn it into a white whistle. As a white whistle needs to be something close to in order to sacrifice it. He will stop at nothing to figure out the abyss. He just treats everyone equally. Like, yeah, he does heinous things, but he's still like chill. Like, he doesn't really hate anyone per se. He's just kind of a chill scientist who does very unethical methods to his research. He's also a strange one. To get his own white whistle, he had to sacrifice his own body. He used his tech to implement his consciousness into another vessel. So whenever the vessel dies, he can literally just take control of another one. Like, he just kind of spawns in another one. Like, the respawn point gets reset. The movie after season 1 is essentially all about Bondred. Movie 3, if I recall. And his, like, never-ending, unethical pursuit of science. You know, who cares if you kids turn into mush like Play-Doh? If it means you can explore the abyss. Am I right, guys? Yeah. Geneva convention, more like Geneva suggestion. Hell yeah. Anyways, let's discuss how does this show get so dark despite what I just said. Let's delve into it and see what goes wrong. Now, fine viewer, you may be asking, what makes this show so dark? From the sounds of it, it's a cute little adventure anime about a girl and her friends. If you ignore what I said about Mitty and Bondred, just ignore that. You know, just friends trying to save their friend's mother. Well, yes. But also no. For example, watch Mitty for a second for me. That is only one of the many examples. There was also this really cool scene of the latter season 2, which, big spoilers by the way, which essentially an angel of death starts touring through a village, because that village is her own fucking mother. It's really fucked up how that happens, but you know, just the cliff notes. Girl couldn't have kids, wishes to have kids, Relic grants that wish, has kids but they die the next day they're born. People start eating our kids, they start to get healthy again, but they start turning into like creatures and, you know, blah blah blah. Anyways, blah blah blah. She becomes a village for like hollows. Hollows are essentially humans that have lost part of their human, like their appearance essentially. Anyways, so this angel of death, Fapata, like essentially just rips and tears through the village. But because the citizens are part of the village, and then, you know, naturally because the village is her mother, so the people born into it like see her as this beautiful and valuable creature. So even though as they're being torn apart, they're still crying at like her beauty. Like even as they're trying to kill her, they're not crying because they're afraid of death. They're crying because she's that beautiful to them. It's a really cool scene. And although it almost made me stop watching based on Reg's decision, spoiler again. Reg loses his memories, but before that he essentially proposed to Fapata that he'd come back for her and like stay with her for the rest of their life. But no, he left her alone for ages, used his incinerator cannon, forgot his memories, and didn't come back for her. And he almost killed her because of it. I would have been so pissed if that's how it ended, but thankfully it didn't. Thankfully, it all gets resolved after this ocean of blood is spilled, thankfully. But that is just one of the many exciting things of the Abyss. You never really know what's going to happen. Which brings me on to our next topic. There's the concept I find the coolest in this show is the Abyss itself. Let me tell you why. Now, onto the concept I enjoy most about this show, it has to be the Abyss. Both in a physical and metaphorical sense. I don't want to go into it too much. It's a really interesting concept I want to do an actual separate video on at some point. But the Abyss in this anime is essentially the wonder of the world. A place where dreams are made to explore it, only to once again be consumed by its depths. It's the source of people's dreams, as well as the end of them. A place unknown, urging humanity's curiosity to explore. Yet, when they explore it, they are unable to return to the world they once knew. As the person they once were at least, as their humanity will soon fade the longer they stay inside the Abyss. As the one rule of the Abyss is, never go up once you're down. The only people capable of doing this and being unscathed are the White Whistles, e.g. Ozen, Liza, and Bondred. The concept is just really interesting to me. And yes, it is a physical big fucking hole in the ground, which I'll put an image up. This leads to several unknown worlds of different biomes. Also known as the Netherworld because, you know, if you go in, you're probably going to die, plus it goes right down, which you know where hell should be located, per se. Anyways, as I mentioned biomes, let's go into the layers of the Netherworld. If I can manage it without coughing my fucking spine up. Anyways, layer 1, symbol, Edge of the Abyss. This is the very beginning. This is where you first delve into it. It's kind of like the overworld from Terraria a bit. The only curse here is nausea and numbness of limbs if you try and go up. Second layer, Forest of Temptation. Pretty much same thing. It's just that it's the edge of the abyss with a forest. More intense nausea and numbness of limbs as you go up, but you know, simple stuff, simple stuff. Layer 3 is the Great Fault. Here's where things start to get a bit spicy. It's essentially just a big hole straight down. Its curse is vertigo, as well as hallucinations, picking up a little bit in danger. Fourth layer is the Goblet of Giants. Essentially a forest where the trees are concave and hold liquid, hence the goblet part. This curse is a little bit fucked up to say the least. Your senses become numb, so you're essentially devoid of your senses. And you start bleeding from every orifice. Yes, you heard me right, every orifice. It's if there's a hole, blood will be pouring from it. So, yeah, I'm not going into that too much right now. Maybe in the Abyss video. Layer 5 is where things get interesting. The sea of corpses where everything comes to die. The curse is the same as layer 4, however this area is the also point of no return. If anyone dives farther than this, even the white whistles, they'll lose all their humanity on trial of ascent. This is also where Bondred carries out his fun little experiments into the 6th layer, trying to find a way for humanity to traverse it without being, you know, turned into a Mitty type situation. The 6th layer is the capital of the Unreturned, the final resting place for most humans who have made it this far. Lives, however, went all the way to 7 or deeper as far as we know. The curse here is the most severe. Any normal human that tries to return loses all humanity, and is made one with the abyss by turning into a deranged pile of just this fleshy thing that's no longer able to be called human again. Not much is known about the 7th layer other than name, the final maelstrom, with vague reports of those who have dived so far. I love being sick. That's all that is known regarding layers. The deeper one gets, the more vague and, you know, loose the information becomes. It's a really interesting concept to me, both from a physical and existential standpoint. Once again, that quote of "what is born in the abyss yearns to return to it." I really enjoyed Made in the Abyss, aside from the offers of interesting likes. It's really good if you like a good mystery and adventure anime. You'll probably like it. But yeah, I just wanted to get a video on this while it's still hot in my mind, because I really liked it. I want to do a video on the concept of the abyss sometime, as I said. But yeah, banger. Go watch Made in the Abyss if you've made it this far. No one's making it this far, but thank you. Bye.